What's happening, guys? It's your buddy Griz, and I wanted to start off by first wishing a happy Thanksgiving to all my fellow Canadian friends out there. It was, in fact, Thanksgiving weekend here this past weekend in Canada land, and Thanksgiving in Canada, a lot of people don't really know what it's about. I didn't even really know what it was all about either. I just figured we started doing it because the Americans were doing it, and Canada, of course, has to pretty much do everything the US does, right? Well, in this case, wrong. Yes, we do celebrate it for similar reasons, but there is a distinct difference between the Canadian and American versions of Thanksgiving, which is why I guess they fall on different dates. So, as opposed to America, the first non-native settlers of Canada were from France, and it was just after the 7 Years' War, or the French-Indian War as it's referred to sometimes, that the first ever Thanksgiving feast was held in Canada, right after New France, quotation marks, was handed over to the British. And wouldn't you know it, it took place in my hometown of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if they did the whole turkey thing at first though, because it does say that those traditions, the turkey, pumpkin, squash, turnips, etc., were brought over by American refugees who remained loyal to Great Britain, and they came to Canada after the American Revolution, obviously. So that is Grizno's history lesson for today. Hope you enjoyed, but now that we have that out of the way, let's get down to business and what you all probably came here for, the SG553. This little baby is the star of this week's kit up, and it was suggested to me by a lovely gent by the name of Tomahawk Hunter, and he calls this setup the Untold Beast. Ominous. And this setup consists of the SG553 with reflex, because he knows it's my favorite. Ah, tanks, man. The tack light he wanted, but I only had the flashlight, sorry about that. Compensator, and the stubby grip. Shorty 12 gauge shotgun is my secondary with a ghost ring. Straw and EOD bot are my gadgets for trolley good times. V40 mini grenades, and the Bowie knife because he's from Australia. That's pretty freaky, Bowie. Isn't it cold out in space, Bowie? Do you use your pointy nipples as microscopic antennae to transmit data back to Earth? Okay, I'm done. I do that every time. Every time I see the Bowie knife, I have to sing that song. And last but not least, we're running the offensive field upgrade. Okay, so let's talk about the SG553. Found in the carbine category, this is an excellent all-kit weapon for short to medium range. So that's why I kind of showed you guys a tank clip at the beginning. This weapon is an all-kit weapon, and it is versatile like the day is long. So when I think carbine, I like to use this class, or I like to use a class that is not assault, because the ARs really do kick most of the carbine's butts when we get down to brass tacks, let's be honest. But the carbines are definitely no slouches for a run and gun playstyle, and I use them 90% of the time for the engineer and recon classes. So if you like using vehicles, try this guy on your next tank run, and be sure to bring your repair tool with you, of course. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that this is an excellent option for when you need to hop out of your tank to repair, because if someone sneaks up on you, you stand a really good chance to win that gunfight. So let's look now at the stats from Synthic.com, and yay, they updated their charts! So Synthic updated their site to reflect the new damage models that came as part of the fall patch. So the SG553 does a max damage of 24 now, minimum 15.4, and its rate of fire is 830 rounds per minute. Magazine capacity is your standard 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber for 31 total, and the reload times are 2.65 seconds when empty and 2.15 seconds with a round still in the chamber. So right away I want to draw attention to the reload times and the rate of fire on the SG553, both of which are this weapon's best qualities in my opinion. The high rate of fire on this guy makes it a very tough contender in close quarters, and the reload times complement this nicely. They certainly aren't the fastest in the category, but what's particularly interesting with the reload times that I find is that there's barely any difference between the short and long reload. So keeping your eye on your ammo, Not necessarily as important with the SG553 as it would be with, say, like the FAMAS, something with an extremely longer reload time. The reload times on the SG553 are much more balanced, and they're somewhere between average and fast. And like I said, paired with the high rate of fire, this thing is awesome in close quarters. One thing to watch out for on the SG553 though is it does have a rather high bullet spread value, and I never really talked too much about bullet spread values in previous reviews, but I feel like I should mention it here because you will notice it. With a weapon that fires rapidly like this one, the tendency is to hold the trigger down and mag dump, at least for me, and especially in close quarters. You're fine to do that if it's like extreme close quarters, like you ran around a corner and there's a dude right there. But if there's any amount of distance between you and your target to a point where you need to be, you know, accurate, yeah, in that situation, just keep in mind that tap firing is going to be a smarter approach. Holding down the trigger on this fella definitely causes some problems with this accuracy, which, by the way, is going to be magnified by using the compensator or muzzle brake like I was here. Muzzle brake received a reduction in its effects in the patch, but as far as I know, the compensator did not. So you will still notice the hit to accuracy when going full on. I gotta admit, the combination of the compensator and the stubby grip on the SG553 I find counterproductive. If you think about it, you're gonna lose automatic fire accuracy with the compensator, but gain it back with the stubby. I think you're better off pairing the stubby with a suppressor, or a flash hider, or a heavy barrel, like depending on what situation you're in. But if you did want to use the compensator, because it actually is a great option for the SG553, helping to get rid of some of that side-to-side recoil it has, then go with the ergo or angled grips and just be more conscious of controlling your fire rate. Plus, with the ergo grip, you gain some hip fire accuracy, something this guy can definitely benefit from. And you can do your little dance moves in one-on-one gunfights and maintain better accuracy due to the fact that you're on the move. As the video winds down, I just want to briefly mention some things regarding the rest of the kit. The shorty, great finisher. I call it the Recon's best friend, but you know, not really much to say about it. Definitely a good option for a secondary. The EOD bot is definitely fun to troll with, but let's be honest, if you're going to run this gadget on a map like Metro here, it's only going to equate to about, you know, 1 to 2 kills max. The times where the Terrorizer is at its best is definitely in Rush. And let's see, the SRA launcher. The SRA is great for taking out snipers when you're playing the Engineer kit. Aside from having a DMR, the SRA can be your long-range weapon, vehicle, deterrent, and trailblazer all in one. It only hits vehicles for about 20 to 25 usually, so you know, it's not the best launcher for armor, but it does have a lot of other uses, so take advantage of it. So that's gonna do it for Season 2, Episode 1 of Kit Up. Post-patch Kit Up, that's why we're calling it Season 2. My name is Griz. Make sure you leave me a comment for next week on what weapon you want to see. And like the video, share it with your friends. I always appreciate that kind of stuff. So yeah, take her easy guys. See you next time.